So when I met Arnav, I was fighting terrorism in Yemen, Syria, Iraq, Somalia, not very fun places at that time, and getting very comfortable. Life was just a little too comfortable. So we thought, let's amp it up a bit. Let's start taking some risks. We were actually getting paid. We had savings. I loved that time. But we didn't have money by your standards. Our savings would have lasted us 3 months in New York, but a lifetime in Bangalore. So we said, let's move back and let's figure out what we want to do, which actually builds something that we would use, our children would use. And we didn't know what the problem we wanted to solve yet was, but you're full of ideas and you've sort of given lots of ideas to lots of people. So for a year, we just chased ideas and people backed us because we were like, my husband and I, Goldman Sachs, all that, mover shaker business. And people gave us money. And when I finished raising money, I think like Tej, I got found a depression. And that year also, a 20-year-old boy who was the most full of life boy that I knew took his own life as a side effect of the antidepressants that he was on. And mental health is one of those things that you can go through life knowing of it. But when you go through it, you can't unsee it. You start feeling like the world is on fire and there aren't any fire engines coming. It's the one thing that's getting worse every year, and nothing's actually solving it. And so we got to the stage where we said, okay, we know how to do tech for good. Now can we do something about the happiness of ourselves and our children? Can we figure this out? And artificial intelligence was super cool. Mobile phones were super cool. So we said, you get up in the morning, you pick up your phone, you go to bed, the last thing you do is you have a phone. Your phone's always with you. Could we use the sensors in your phones to do more than just figure out what to sell you? Could we do something where we could use those sensors and detect whether you're depressed and get you help? Can we do it in a way that doesn't require anything, like doesn't require expensive iPhones? It's really $25 phones. So we built this, went to rural India, did a trial, and detected quite accurately, at an 85 to 90% accuracy, that somebody was depressed just because of how their phone was moving about. Because it turns out that when we're actually being very normal, there's a lot of chaos in our behavior. We can't fake it. So when we're pretending to be okay, we don't have that amount of chaos. So we're sort of pretending, and therefore the chaos comes down in the daytime and ramps up at the nighttime, and that allows the machine learning to figure out that something's wrong. We were thrilled. 3 months later, we go back in and say, what happened to these people? 1 person out of 30 detected had taken therapy. The rest had gone to their doctor, and the doctor was prescribing Valium. That's not what we started to build. That's not who we are. The company was very cool, the tech was very cool, but it wasn't solving the problem. It was one of the hardest decisions we made. We walked out. We also saw that these people who had so much stigma, so much lack of access to therapy, we had built this little bot that the sensor was inside, because you need an app on the phone to get their sensor data. So that was a little chatbot to talk about how you're feeling. And they were talking to it. And 3 months later, their depression was coming down. And we were like, what's going on? People want to talk to a computer more than they want to talk to a human being. So we doubled down and said, let's make it talk a little better. Let's make it talk the way human beings don't talk to us. Let's make it talk in a way that doesn't judge, that lets you vent, that uses evidence-based techniques, that helps you reframe negative thoughts. I just kept building upon it. Everything that I had learned for my own depression, we kept throwing in, got psychologists. And it's a side project, kept going, until 2017, May 20th, a girl called Nora, 13 years old, writes to us saying, I'm depressed, I tried committing suicide. You're helping me hold on to myself. Thank you. She writes in that place where we write issues to Wysa. The app's called Wysa. It's a penguin that you talk to. And then he said, what's happening? People are actually talking to a bot more than they are to another human being. We shut down everything else, double down on this. Today, 32 people have written to us to say that they're alive today because of Wysa. And we're trying to figure out, using AI, which isn't even as cool as the sensors that we were working with earlier, simple AI, to say, what is this therapeutic relationship going to be between humans and computers, where we can lead happier, better lives because of the presence of technology in our lives? Thank you.